For years, you've been waiting, scrolling through forums, watching videos, checking the news every single morning with that one burning question on your mind: is today the day? The Iraqi dinar. You were told it was the golden ticket, the one way past to a life of unimaginable wealth. The promise was simple: a revaluation, an RV that would shoot its value from fractions of a penny to over $5 overnight. We've all seen the headlines, the tantalizing whispers of 5.04. But I need you to take a deep breath and hear me now, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything you thought you knew about this entire game. The Iraqi dinar is not the main event. In fact, the obsessive focus on the dinar has been a strategic distraction, a sleight of hand orchestrated by the very forces that control global finance. And while millions have been fixated on Baghdad, a silent, far more powerful financial earthquake has been building elsewhere. This isn't about abandoning a dream, it's about upgrading it to a reality. The real story, the true wealth-generating event, isn't happening with a single currency. It's happening with a domino effect, a global monetary reset that will see a select few currencies skyrocket. And the key to your future wealth isn't just holding one of them, it's understanding the sequence, the interconnections, and building a fortress, not just buying a single lottery ticket. Think of the global economy as a massive, interconnected network of dominoes. The dinar might be one of those dominoes, perhaps even one of the first to fall, but it is not the final, nor the most valuable piece on the board. The real profit, the generational wealth, will be made by those who can see the entire board, who can predict the chain reaction that a dinar RV would trigger. When a currency of a nation with the proven oil reserves of Iraq sees a significant revaluation, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It sends a shockwave through the entire global financial system, particularly through emerging markets and other nations poised for their own economic renaissance. It signals a shift away from the petrodollar system, a repricing of global assets, and a reevaluation of risk and potential in regions the Western world has long overlooked. This is where your attention needs to be. This is the silent shift. So if you're holding dinar, that's fine. But what you do with that dinar the moment it moves is what will separate the merely fortunate from the truly wealthy. Cashing it all in for dollars would be a catastrophic mistake, the equivalent of trading in a gold mine for a single gold coin. The real strategy, the one the financial elites don't want you to understand, is using the dinar as a launchpad, as initial capital to acquire positions in the currencies and assets that are next in line for their own explosive growth. This requires a shift in mindset from a speculator waiting for a single event to a strategist building a portfolio designed to capitalize on a global paradigm shift. The 21st century gold rush isn't for a metal, it's for monetary sovereignty and asset-backed currency strength. And the map to this new world isn't found in the endless, repetitive dinar gossip. It's found in a deep, analytical understanding of global macroeconomics, geopolitical alliances, and resource wealth beyond just oil. You have been preparing for a battle, but you were given the wrong map. It's time to get the right one. So, if the dinar is just the starting pistol, what are the other races? Which currencies are poised to become the true kings of this new financial order? Let's break down the domino effect. A successful Iraqi dinar RV would fundamentally be a statement about the value of oil, gas, and strategic geographic positioning, moving away from a dollar-dominated pricing model. The first and most obvious beneficiaries are nations within the same economic and geopolitical sphere, those with similar profiles but perhaps even greater untapped potential. Let's talk about Vietnam. The Vietnamese Dong, or VND, is often mentioned in the same breath as the dinar, but for the wrong reasons. It's dismissed as another lottery ticket currency. This is a profound misunderstanding. Vietnam is not Iraq. It is not a post-conflict nation rebuilding from scratch. Vietnam is an economic juggernaut in the making, a manufacturing hub that has steadily been eating into China's dominance, with a young, tech-savvy population and a government aggressively pursuing trade deals across the globe. A dinar RV would act as a catalyst, a signal to the world that the era of undervalued Asian assets is over. Investors seeing the success in Iraq would flood into the next logical opportunity, and Vietnam, with its staggering growth rate and strategic importance, is at the top of that list. But it doesn't stop there. Look towards Indonesia, a colossal archipelago with immense natural resources and a rapidly growing digital economy. Its currency, the rupiah, has been historically undervalued, and a global reassessment of asset values would place it squarely in the spotlight. Or consider the nations of Africa like Kenya or Ghana, which are pioneering digital financial systems and becoming tech innovation centers. Their currencies represent a bet on the future of an entire continent. The domino effect also works through alliances. Think about the BRICS nations and their continued efforts to create a basket of currencies to rival the dollar. A revaluation in the Middle East strengthens the hand of every nation seeking an alternative to the Western financial system. This isn't just about one currency, it's about a whole new ecosystem of value being born. And this is the core of the diversified portfolio strategy. You don't put all your eggs in the dinar basket. You use the liquidity from a potential dinar event to build a balanced strategic position across a spectrum of these high-potential, undervalued currencies. You allocate a portion to Vietnam for its industrial and tech growth, a portion to Indonesia for its resource wealth and demographic dividend, and a portion to a frontier market in Africa for its monumental upside. This is how you mitigate risk and maximize profit. You're not relying on a single miracle. You're building a financial fortress with multiple layers of defense and offense, each currency acting as a hedge and an accelerator for the others. This diversified approach is what the ultra-wealthy have always done. They don't bet on one horse, they buy the entire racetrack. By understanding the interconnected nature of this global monetary shift, you position yourself not as a gambler, but as a visionary investor, ready to harness the tidal wave of change that a single event like a Dinar RV would unleash. Now, let's talk about the most critical part, the execution. Knowing the theory is one thing. Having a concrete step-by-step plan is what will separate you from the crowd when the moment of truth arrives. The first step is mindset. You must internalize that the day the Dinar RVs, if it does, is not the finish line. It is the starting gate. The initial surge of excitement will be overwhelming, and the temptation to cash out immediately and celebrate will be immense. This is the precise moment where most people will make their fatal error. The real wealth is not made in the first hour. It's made in the first week, the first month, as the dominoes begin to fall. Your plan must be written down clear and unemotional. Step 1. Secure your initial capital. This means converting a small, predetermined percentage of your dinar holding directly into your local currency, enough to cover any immediate taxes, fees, and to give yourself a well-deserved reward for your patience. This satisfies the emotional need for a win and clears your head for the strategic moves ahead. Step 2, and this is the most important part, is the strategic transfer. Do not let your money sit in a Western bank as dollars for long. Inflation and the potential devaluation of the dollar in this new financial landscape are very real threats. You must have a plan to swiftly and legally move a significant portion of your capital into the diversified currency portfolio we discussed. This means having relationships with international banks or financial services that can facilitate multi-currency accounts. You need to be able to buy Vietnamese Dong, Indonesian rupiah, and other strategic assets quickly, before the rest of the world wakes up to the new reality and their values adjust upwards. Step 3 is the long game. This currency portfolio is your new foundation, your bedrock of wealth. But true, lasting prosperity comes from using that foundation to acquire income, generating assets. This means looking at real estate in these growing economies, investing in local businesses or stock markets, or even funding infrastructure projects. Your currency gains give you the purchasing power to become a true global citizen and investor. Finally, you must become a perpetual student of this new system. The world after a monetary reset will be fundamentally different. The rules of the game will have changed. Stay informed, continue to analyze geopolitical shifts, and be ready to adjust your portfolio as new opportunities and threats emerge. This is not a one-time trade, it is the beginning of a new financial life. You have endured the wait, you have navigated the sea of misinformation. Now, you possess the knowledge that what you hold in the dinar is not the end goal, but a key that can unlock a door to a diversified, global, and resilient fortune. The question is no longer if the dinar will revalue, but what you will build with the opportunity it presents. So, the real work begins now, before anything happens. This is your call to action. Do not wait. If you are serious about transforming your life and not just making a quick cash in, you need to start building your framework today. Research international banks. Study the economies of Vietnam, Indonesia, and the BRICS nations. Understand the legal and tax implications of moving wealth internationally. Create your personal blueprint for the day everything changes. This knowledge is your most valuable asset right now. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to move beyond the hype and become a strategic architect of your own wealth, then you need to be part of a community that thinks like this. Subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell, because in the coming videos, we are going to deconstruct each of these steps in detail. We will analyze each potential currency, interview experts on international finance, and provide you with the actionable tools you need to be prepared. The silent shift is happening. Don't just watch it, lead it.